Hello guys, it's Jan's Big Bro here, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about all the boosters, the enemies, towers, and cards you will get in Arena 1. So, I'm also going to be giving a few tips and tricks on how to use these cards and boosters. So, let's get into it. So, so here we are now in Arena 1, and as you can see, I already managed to unlock most of the cards here except for the Dragon Ashbite. So now we're going to be talking about each and every card, enemy, and booster that you can acquire in this arena. Oh, but first, we gotta look at the map, which is Southport. As you can see here, there are two portals where the enemy go through, and they meet up in this section here. This will be this will you will use this, like you put barracks in this part and then support it with a good artillery, and you will be good to go. And you can also put your hero there in order to maximize the output of your artillery. So let's get into it. So the first card you will get, and also the card that I haven't got yet, is Ashbite here in Arena 1. Ashbite is a really strong dragon hero. I mean, most dragon heroes are. He's a legendary too, which gives him two passives, which increases spell damage and artillery damage. His skills are mostly damage dealing types. It also has AoE and an instant kill. Yeah, an instant kill has a 25% chance to occur and increases each time you level him up. He can also deal an AoE damage to the enemy barracks and heroes. So next is the dwarf. The dwarf is really good, especially for disrupting huge waves of enemies, since it damages enemies around it, which is really good, especially when the enemy gonna goes to a corner and you put dwarf there. It really maximizes the dwarf's efficiency. It also has a burning skill, which deals pretty good damage, especially even if the enemy is armored, since burn damage doesn't affect armored type. The armor doesn't affect the burning damage type. It also has a really good skill that can disrupt the enemy, which is earthquake. It can affect two enemy towers, which is really good. If you put if you put a lot of warp and then upgrade your tower, it can really disrupt the enemy's defense. So next is the hero Aegeon. The hero Aegeon is a really good tanky hero, which 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 is which has a lot of stalling skills, like this one, which teleports the enemies back. A shield skill that basically spawns an indestructible unit that can make enemies attack it and stall it for an even longer time. He also has an anti-air skill, which deals pretty huge amount of damage, as you can see here. So I I would advise you to pair Aegeon with the sorry about that with the Holy Sanctuary. But first, we need to look at the Royal Archers. These are the perfect anti-air turrets, since their passive their passive literally increases their damage to enemy flying types. As you can see, it increases. Oh, this tower also got buffed actually, since the last buff, I think it only deals 100 100% damage or 105% damage to enemy air towers. Now it increases by up to 110%, which is really good. Even if the enemy they are sending is an armored air, it still deals a huge damage to that enemy. The skills are mostly are the spawns and eagle that damages other enemy types, which other air enemies only though. So it isn't really actually good. This is really situational. His armor pursuit skill, since it may reduce the enemy's armor by 95%, but it ain't really that good since it only affects a couple of enemies. And if you really want to use royal archers, you just want to use them if the enemy is has lots of air units in the waves. So next is the holy sanctuary, which is a really good support tower. It increases the defense of the or incoming damage. It reduces the incoming damage actually that your units will take if they are near the tower, which really good is if especially if the units near the tower are really tanky. It can also heal and bless nearby towers. This the blessing one is actually really good, especially if the tower already deals high amounts of damage, like the arcane tower one. You put holy sanctuary in it, and it will deal massive amounts of damage. So yeah, I would advise you to put holy sanctuary tower to nearest to at least two towers in order to maximize the blessing effect of it. So next is the barbarian middle. Now barbarian middle is one of the best barracks you can get until you get the archer ones. So this barracks also comes with an anti-air, but they can throw their axes, but it only works on air units. So they can be used as a last resort if a fast air unit is traveling in the wave. Their skills aren't that good. The whirlwind attack ain't that good since barbarians are really easy to deal with and can't tank that much damage as the paladins ones. Axe rain is not really that good also. It can kill a really weak enemy unit, level 1 unit barrack that they haven't upgraded. So it can weird. This card's skill ain't that good anyway. So next is we're gonna talk about the enemy. So the orc champion. Basically, this is just a tougher version of the orc. It also has armor, but you can't really deal with this type of enemy when using artillery. So I advise you to use your strongest magic tower. Next is the orc shaman. It's quite annoying since it heals. I think the heal of this is AOE. So whenever you encounter orc shaman, just especially when there's a group of them, just use your AOE skill like the meteors or the thunderbolt, so it will kill them and won't let them heal the other enemy units. So next is Gultak. This is one of the bosses that you will be fighting in Arena 1 all the way up to Arena T. This boss can sometimes be really fast, especially if you have a ground unit or barracks that is in its way. Whenever there is a ground unit or barrack in its way, the the boar or pig that Gultak will is riding on will charge at it, and it will increase the boss's movement speed, and and can sometimes cause you to lose the game since it is really fast and it will trample the the units that you place in the way of it. So I advise you to not put barracks in the front 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 road front way of it, so it the boss won't get to the end of the and lose you the match. So the next boss you will encounter is Krumthak, powerful shaman. He has a range skill which has we can deal very high amounts of damage. Even a tanky hero like Aegeon here can sometimes get two-shotted, I think. So I would really tough hero to deal with. A really tough boss to deal with. He also has a armor type which is magic, so artillery towers and range towers are really good at dealing with him. I think you can heal troops as well. Oh, gold tack heals troops. This boss chrome tack all what's the word? Only deals damage. So yeah, next is the boosters. So we have the magic golems and the armored golems. These guys are basically the same except the magic golems has magic armor type while the armored golems has armored type. Obviously, these guys health have been recently got buffed, so they are pretty good, especially if you have two of the boosters activated. It makes your enemies really strategize their defenses. Next is the ghost chance. So when you activate these boosters, you have a 30, 40 to 60% chance, I think, that when you kill an enemy on your side, they have a chance to spawn on the enemy sides as a ghost. So these ghosts have three types, I think. So the first one is a small one that's range and will attack enemies in the way of it. The second one is a flying one. If you kill flying enemies on your side, they will spawn on the opponent side as flying ones. And the third one is if you kill a beefy enemy like the ogre on your side, they have a chance to spawn on the opponent side as big ones, the tanky ghost, the fat ghost. So next is the farm tower. This is a really good booster as well, especially if you don't planning on upgrading it. Is still pretty useful since it turns one of the enemy's towers into a farm tower, which basically attacks by throwing chickens at the end at the your units that is going through the enemy towers waves. So the farm tower isn't really that when the farm tower that turns from the enemy tower is really this damage is not really that the damage is insignificant, so it's really good, especially if you upgrade this to level 4 booster. It now turns two of the enemy's tower into farm tower, which is really good. Next is the mighty tower. Now this booster is a really good win condition, especially if you're trying to take out the boss with your high damage towers. For example, if you're taking out Groomtack, since he doesn't have armor type, you can just go with your strongest tower like the Tesla, maximize the mighty tower booster to level 4, and it basically increases your tower's damage to up to 60%, which will deal loads amount of damage, especially into the boss. And which may and every time, I think I haven't explained this yet. When you kill the boss first before the enemy, you instantly win. So basically, this is a really good win condition. Now next is the spell master. It reduces the cooldown of your spell from 5%, 10% to up to 40%, I think. It's also really good, especially if you have high cooldown skills like the meteor, the thunderstorm. So yeah, it is really good when you want to use your spells as soon as possible. And also if you don't have any other good boosters available. So this will be your second booster to pick. So next and last one is the Merchant of Death, which is also a really good win condition, especially in the early game. If in the early game you got this booster, I recommend to always pick this booster since it will give you a massive boost in your economy and will let you place or upgrade more towers in the early game, which will snowball until the late and last final wave. So that is all the stuff I can explain now. Thank you for listening to this video and make sure to like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you, everyone.